So come on in, take a sip, and let's wind down. Today we're having a lovely Campari Spritz. And of course, it's going to be going gong gong, so I'm going to try to hold it by the bell so it's not creating this for whom the bell toll type sounds throughout our grid solve from today. My name is Christopher. I'm delighted to see you. And it is going to be a ginormous puzzle. How do we know? Because it's Sunday. But first, let's go through the word of the day from Wind Down, and that would be paracme. And this is the point or period where the prime or highest value is passed. If you're thinking of like, say, having a medical fever, that would be a good thing. But if you're talking about maybe the value of your company or your investments, that could be a bad thing. But nevertheless, good word. On this day in 1936, in film and TV, the BBC begins regular high-definition broadcast service at Alexandra Palace in North London. And then, much to many's chagrin, in 2020, Baby Shark becomes the most watched YouTube video ever with 7.4 billion views. Pink Fong. Thank you for that. The only thing I can think of that's slightly more irritating would be that Cars for Kids commercial. Just the guy with the guitar singing 1877 Cars for Kids. That kind, whatever that is. Yeah, I don't know. But today in 1983, Michael Jackson's Thriller was dropped, and I'll never forget that album. I mean, ever. That was pretty cool. Loved the videos and everything else that went with it. Yes, I remember 1983. I was 11. It was a good year. And with that said, let's wish a happy birthday in 1755 to Let Them Eat Cake fame Marie Antoinette, who was born in Austria. In 1815, to George Boole, born in England. Boolean algebra, Boolean logic, two of my very favorite areas of study. And in 1913, Burt Lancaster was born in New York City. If you've not seen The Swimmer, it's a short story by John Cheever, one of my favorites. But the movie is really cool. It's just really a very good movie, and Burt Lancaster's in it. And I'm not sure how old he was in that movie. I'm assuming in his late 50s. But dang, if you can be that you could look that good at that age, sign me up. And lastly, but certainly not least, in 1974, Nelly was born in Austin, Texas. So, to all of you, and all the others in history that have educated us, entertained us, made us scratch our heads, I guess we salute you, don't we? Let's hop into our grid. So the title of our puzzle is Open Faced. This is a Rafael Musa construction, and it's, of course, edited by Will Shorts. I say we just jump into it. It is, after all, Sunday. And we do, after all, have our Campari Spritz. So, cause a mess as with frying oil. Maybe we can splatter. Oh, maybe. Let's see. Talking blank, early dating period in modern lingo. I wouldn't have an idea, but no clue. Fizzle out could be to Peter. And it's here in these initial opening sequences, that we're going to find out whether we're going to have a challenging grid or if it's going to be a smooth sailing Sunday. Either way, I'm game, right? If it's easy, then it takes not as long and not as much of a heartache to get through it. If it's challenging, then we've got the challenge, right? So either way, we kind of win. Exams whose analytical reasoning sections were removed in 2024, and I'm assuming we're talking about the LSATs. I took mine, and we certainly had that. Analytical reasoning. Oh, yeah. Actually, I did really good on the LSAT. I don't know why I didn't go to law school. Maybe I was just done with school, but it turns out I wasn't at the time. I kept going. and going some more. I guess I like school. Pinpoints. How about ATMs? I still think the best clue for ATM was a bread box. I'm just trying to think of what would be better than a bread box. So offerings to prospective bicycle buyers, and I'm assuming we're talking about test rides? I guess I've never thought about that. I've bought a lot of bicycles. I don't believe I've ever test ridden one of them. No, I didn't. I don't think I ever did. So maybe this is the talking stage. Is this where we're just going to talk and I'm going to try to impress you with a bunch of BS about me so that you'll go out with me? I mean, I did that once and we're still together 34 years later. I think I'm good. So yeah, let's just put stage in. What the heck? Let's just take it, see it. So some ambulance destinations. It's an interesting thing. If you work in healthcare like I do, and I'm an administrator, but we call them EDs. Now, you never talk about an ER ever, because that just implies it's one room. It's an emergency department, right? We typically call them an ED, but it doesn't really matter. If it's on TV, they're always talking about the ER, going to the ER, right? I get that, but it's really interesting that there's that split there between what the discourse community uses and what the population, comes up with. It's really kind of interesting. Comprehends, gets, all right, and or more. So maybe lead into state or star could be try. Typically red-coated toy figurines. I'm assuming tin soldiers. Ooh, this is gonna have me having to check here, and we don't have any short ones really. We got a couple. Looks like we've got word with bean or lemon, could be a curd. So we'll give a shot at this O here. So ceramicists devices. I'm assuming these are pottery wheels. I think we can feel pretty good about tin soldiers with that curd there. Official proclamations could be edicts, and try to produce better offspring from, maybe remate. Oh, okay. Now, and I do think we do have ourselves a pottery. Is this a W? Lost one's temper. If that's a W, this could be saw red. So, pottery wheels. Why not? I've been wanting one forever, and I don't think I'm going to actually go out and buy one. I think I'm trying to build one. So if I ever see like a ceiling fan at like a flea market or something, I'm going to get it, and I'll just make my own pottery wheel. I'd like to do that anyway. It's also a good way to recycle, right? So, way to manipulate public opinion through fear could be a scare tactic. Oops, down and get it spelled correctly. So, at a minimum, okay, no doubt about it. Sure is. I mean, I guess you'd say sure am. I guess you could. Typical or mythical creature with scales. How about it's a merman? Father, I'm a merman. What movie was that from? Allude to, maybe nod. I'll give you another hint. Because I'm really, really, really good looking. First two people to give me the name of that movie in the comments, I will send you a decal. By all means. It's a good movie. Well, it entertained the living fire out of me in Iraq on a couple of occasions. I did have that on a DVD. Like some donations that anyone can accept, maybe type O. Blank Jones, author of How We Fight for Our Lives. I think that's Saeed. I think. Inscribed could be etched. I feel better about it now. So the wrong idea could be a false impression. And so, bursts, Ben-Hur or Lawrence of Arabia be an epic something. Create an intricate series of lies, say. Maybe spin a web. That's some pig. Document that promises secrecy for short. You know, I don't think that anymore. I feel like every time somebody signs an NDA, it's just a matter of time before it gets leaked and everything comes out anyway. I mean, what's the point? I don't know. So we got an epic D here. I'm going to go with epic drama. Or as our friends in the UK would say, an epic drama. Mamar. I kind of like it, actually. Bursts, maybe spates. Okay, I gotta kind of figure out what we're doing here. Feels for could be pities. And sport with crampons and carabiners. Crampons. Oh, there's a joke in there somewhere, but it would never be told by me. Nevertheless, I'm assuming ice climbing? I didn't even know it was a sport. I gotta expand my YouTube and other streaming service repertoire here. I can't go through life not knowing what ice climbing is. Like the climate in Antarctica could be arid. In fact, we know it's arid. It's actually a ginormous desert. It just happens to be a very cold one. If I need to know about other crazy sports, like something involving crampons and carabiners, let me know. I mean, that's a first for me. I don't want to be missing out on it. I can tell you right now, I'll be watching ice climbing this evening. Like many public housing projects, maybe state-aided. So, does the Narrows hike at Zion National Park say? Well, I've never been there. I don't know. And I don't know what this could be. Is it Wade's? The deed is done, or the deal is done. I don't know. Become acquainted over Zoom, as an example, maybe to e-meet. And a villain could be a baddie. Hog heaven. Okay, I guess we're talking about a sty here. And yeah, the deed is done. Wade's. I just don't believe I've ever used the term wades outside of water unless doing the Narrows hike involves wading across water or through water or whatever we have to do as far as the preposition there is concerned. But yeah, I got to learn more about ice climbing and wades now. So, but that's what I love about the grid. It's always a learning opportunity. Even on the easiest day, you'll learn something. That much is obvious. So I see. Tick off could be to miff. It's always, that F, what is going on? Flag thrower. Good. NFL referee, maybe. Winter Olympics event could be a bobsled. And I love the Olympics. I can't wait for the next one. I mean, I'm really, really kind of champing at the bit for that. Livestock facilities regulated by the EPA, and I guess these would be feedlots. Yeah, I can only imagine. I mean, that's probably a lot of methane. Or the scientific term, cow farts, but a lot of them, I'm imagining. Wow. Lucy Blank, African American slave narrator, and I think this is Delaney. If you're not familiar with Lucy Delaney, she, I think she sued for her freedom, and won in like the 1830s or 40s or 50s, I don't know, somewhere in there, before the Civil War. I think she sued for emancipation and actually got it through the courts. really very interesting thing. And yeah, all of the stories, all of everything very interesting. Affectedly clever. I'm assuming we're talking cutesy. I've been called that, and I don't appreciate it. I think I'm more of the bon mot rich raconteur, right? You know, the rhetorician, right? You know, with the epee-like tongue that's, you know, just the wit and the wisdom and the cleverness. Okay, fine, cutesy, fine, whatever. Have spiritual unity with, maybe be one. No, I am your father, Luke. Airplane wing feature could be flap. And evergreen pointer would be a pine needle. When you're going through your HUA schools in the United States Army, and you're going over a map, and you've got an observer, you know, TAC officer there, somebody that's watching you, grading you, don't use your finger to point at something on the map. Pick up a twig, pick up a pine needle, something, anything but your finger. That's just words of wisdom. Old time theater item, and I'm assuming we're going for a movie reel. You know, I've just started thinking, man, I hope I haven't fat fingered something, because we're gonna just let the puzzle tell us where we screwed that up. This thing is ginormous. And I don't know if you've noticed the black and white big old smiley face here, but this grid could not have been an easy one for Rafael Musa to have constructed. So far it's been pretty easy to solve, but I can only imagine constructing this grid. This is absolutely amazing, and I mean, true to this point in the grid, not a single thing has made me go, what an awful grid, what an awful clue, answer, combination, whatever. Nothing so far. Really, it's been great. Sufferer healed by Yeshua HaMashiach would be a leper. Actress and model Ali Larter. I think she's the one that was in that movie about the high school kids that were playing football. I don't remember the name of it for the life of me, but it was a good movie. The quarterback everybody loved, you know, got hurt. Then Moxon, I can't remember his name, but he goes in and takes over, and they win the game. They get rid of their home coach in the final, whatever. I mean, you know, it's a good movie, but I think Ali Larter was in that movie. I think that was what she did. I mean, she was the popular girl that came out. I think she invited Moxon or I think that was his name. I don't remember. Invited him over for something. I can't remember what it was, but then she came out and she was wearing nothing but whipped cream. And yeah, and that kind of sticks with a young man's in their brain. You know, just don't really forget that. I didn't. Southwest platform, and when I read Southwest landform, sorry, I'm thinking Mesa, but I guess we've got an E and 5 letters when I go with a butte. There's a real butte there. Clark. Eccentric could be batty. Musical instruments that become other musical instruments when an F is added to the front. And I'm assuming we're talking about lutes to flutes. Never played a lute. I have played at a flute. Person idolized by a niche audience. So I guess we've got a cult something in 4 letters. Maybe a cult hero? You're one to talk. That could be an H if we're saying that's rich. This is an O. Quarter barrel containers of beer sound to me a lot like pony kegs. So maybe a cult hero. Covert mission familiarly, maybe a black op. All right, and Big Ben, maybe? Let's see. Hallowed, maybe holy. mumbo, jumbo, I don't know. Hooey? No, I'm not sure. Unacceptable. That is not okay. Been told that a time or two in my life. That is not okay. And I'm like, I get it. And I'm sorry. I'll make sure I don't do it again in front of you. Whatever it might have been. Unlikely sportsmanship award winner. Oh, how about a sore loser? Okay. Drink order at a sushi restaurant. What are we having, a sake bottle? Okay, yeah, I was kind of getting a stretch on there with that. I mean, you know, how about just a sake? Or a bottle of sake? But I want a sake bottle. Strategy against fickle weather. And I'll bet you these are layers. How about an LOL? So let's get our laughing out loud in there. Let's drop our layers. Support for the tree pose in yoga. I'm assuming one leg. Graham, ancient philosopher whose name means old master, and that would be Lao Tzu. We got Hui and Nana for a Graham, okay. And tandoors would be ovens. More difficult to eat as fish. Oh, yeah, no. I don't even bother with it. Now, my sister Tiffany, I call her Unsel. I don't know why I call her Unsel. I've just done it my entire life. Unsel. It's probably because we're German. I mean, I don't know, but whatever. She just became Unsel. Unsel. But nevertheless, she will order the whole fish. When we go somewhere, in a French restaurant, whatever, nobody just get the whole fish. And then to freak the waiter out, she'll eat the eyes. She'll just be like, yeah, what should I do with the eyes? Well, you just leave them alone, madam. How about I just eat them? And it's kind of a funny trick, you know? Yeah, I'm not opposed to eating them. I just don't want to. Yeah, I would, I guess, if I was hungry enough or whatever. I'm not going to sit here and freak out like, oh my God, I'm going to throw up because I just ate an eye from a fish. No, it wouldn't bother me like that, but I mean, I eat snails on a regular basis. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's cool, but yeah. Tiffany can do that. I've always respected that. I mean, it's good stuff. So a cheeky flirt. I don't know. Maybe minxes. Let's see. Is this an X? Paleolithic era tools. And these could be stone axes. Axes or stone axes. You got to build the axes out of stones so that you could then. No, we'll just go with axes. Yeah. And minxes. Cheeky flirts. And one very fat colonel who called me a cheeky fellow. The first person to tell me what movie that one's from in the comments, I'll send you a decal. These are really cool. Shakespeare majors unite. So how do we do, Bob? I'll send you one in the mail. Be the first one to comment on that one, or the first two to let me know what you thought about the movie where he's really, really, really good looking and I'm a merman, father. A merman. Annual awards whose name is an acronym, and I think these are the SBs. Like some soils high in organic matter. I guess we're talking about PD. My first thought was loamy when I saw that, and then I was like, whoa, that ain't gonna work. So, small protestation. How about a peep? Didn't hear a peep out of anyone except for you, your little protests. Say, natural process of maturing. Well, I'm honestly not quite sure. I'll put in sun ripening and then immediately go to checking the rest. Unit, circle, ratios would be signs. And we got Skeeter syndrome here. butterfly as an example. Looks like it's going to be a stroke, as in swimming. The butterfly. Yeah, that thing. Wow. Perspectives. NTS, maybe slants. Absurdist philosopher born in Algeria. And yes, that would be Albert Camus. But to this day, L'étrange gotta be my favorite novel of all time. Albert Camus. Yeah. I don't know who I appreciate more. Two different people altogether, but Albert Camus and Jean-Paul Sartre they're kind of from the same period, right? You know, from the same generation, and both of them were just amazing, though. Albert Camus was a bit of a literary rock star, though, and he just looked the part, too, right? It's kind of like Mick Jagger to this day. I mean, the dude's got a 22-inch waist. He just still looks like a rock star, you know? Yeah, well, that was Albert Camus. He did for, you know, fiction and philosophy what Mick Jagger did for rock and roll, really, right? Good stuff. Pride celebration. Well, that's unfortunate. It's not unfortunate. It's great to have a pride celebration like a parade, but I was thinking it was going to be a parody. And I was excited about it because we had that yesterday too. I don't know why I was excited about it. Pieces of art could be mosaics. Child who refuses to put things away. I have no idea, but I think fussy something. Check it out. Agreements where one party takes some heat. With that question mark. So maybe arms deals? Very clever grid today. I mean, very clever grid. I'm really, really enjoying this. I mean, Rafael Musa, good Lord, this is fantastic. Bravo. Olympic gymnast Nadia, who was the first to receive a perfect 10 score. And that was Nadia Comaneci. But I cannot remember how to spell the last name. I'm going to try it. Comaneci. Try it. They point toward Mecca while Salah is performed, and that would be a prayer mat. TV series starring Rami Malek as a hacktivist. I don't know. Never seen it. Any more than I've ever seen ice climbing with crampons and carabiners. No, I will see that tonight. Garden pest could be an aphid. Sharpen could be to hone. And child who refuses to put things away could be a fussy eater. Yeah, you don't. I had to eat whatever I put on my plate, and or I would have sat there all night looking at it, and then they would have thrown it away while they were watching good stuff on TV, and I couldn't because I was stuck in the dining room, which was right adjacent to the living room, and you could hear what was going on with Happy Days and the Dukes of Hazzard or whatever, but you couldn't watch because you were at the table. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't ever get smart and just say to myself, just put 2 things on your plate and then you'll be finished. But then Mutti would have been like, no, you need to eat more than that. You need your sustenance. Girder, whose name assumes a serif font. Well, what a clever way to describe an I-beam. I love it. Now, I'm assuming we might have a Mr. Robot. I've never even heard of anything like this, and I love Rami Malek. I think he's one of the best actors there is. I loved him Bond, everything he's ever done. And there was one that he did recently that I watched. He was like the amateur, or he's like a CIA, I don't know, egghead. Like looks at numbers and stuff, but then he loses his wife to some terrorists, and he goes after him, and he kills him himself. He's like all that. That was a good movie. I need to watch that again. Might have had a bit too much wine during my enjoyment of that flick, but I've never seen whatever this is. I'm assuming it's iRobot. Okay, Will Smith. Mr. Robot, let's see. Falsify could be to doctor. TV series starring Rami Malek as a hacktivist. Yeah, I think we probably got that because like some pricing strategies could be tiered. Now, speaking of doctor, I'm going to try to remember the line, but you should get the gist of it. Here's another shot at another decal. And if you've already got an answer up front, I'm not going to send 3. Just do this once, please. Unless you just want 3. I mean, never mind. I'll take that back. Fine. But I could have been a doctor if it wasn't for all that math and science stuff. It was something along those lines. It was good. It was a good line. And I'll give you a hint. The person who said it in the movie was also a regular in the show Cheers. And to this day owns a pot store in Los Angeles, California. So just saying. What's the name of that movie? Sociologists concerned. How about mores? Good luck these days. Just had to go into sociology, did you, huh? Well, now you have concerns, don't you? Yes, you do. Allude to, maybe refer. Update the equipment in, could be a refit. Area with the highest percentage of homes valued at 1 million or more. God, isn't that anywhere these days? God, home prices are out. I'm assuming we're talking about Silicon Valley, and I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but it sure seemed to be lining up for us. Let's take a look. Erasure. I try to discover a little something to make. Okay, we're not talking about an 80s new wave band, are we? Maybe deletion. I do love Erasure, though. Was there ever anything that they did that wasn't great? Yeah. It's just a great band. It's Andy Bell, Vince Clarke. I was a big fan. One's skilled in governance could be technocrats. I keep getting emails from some of you who like to view this channel at night when you're in bed and you're baking. And apparently we have some ASMR value or something. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I just want you to know, if you're in that special place, I salute you, and I hope you're having a wonderful trip off to Sleepwood, right? It was good stuff. I mean, really, I'm happy to have everybody here. It's an open community, clearly, but when I kept getting these emails just talking about this, and I thought, wow. You kind of could have put that in the comments, though. That would help the algorithm. But nevertheless, it's cool. I mean, I love hearing from every one of you. You want to send an email. If you want it to be private, that's fine. I'm obviously not going to mention your name or anything else. I'm just simply saying I think it's really cool, the different folks that like to tune in and watch, It's a pretty cool demographic profile that we've built here. Smoky Bear Spot as an example for short, and I guess this would be a PSA, and that's my Shotzi texting. I hope everything's cool. Well, if it wasn't, she'd be calling. So reddish brown color, 4 letters. I'm gonna go with Rust to start, and we'll see what we got. Be partial to could be to prefer. Shell competitor. How about, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Is it Sunoco? I have no idea. I've seen it a million times in my life. No idea. Didn't they merge with the 76, the orange ball with the blue letters, 76? I mean, I don't know. I remember the 76 or 76 or whatever it's called out in California, Arizona when I was a kid, but I don't know. Return analog. What a fantastic way to describe the enter key. Love it. I see. Dakin Park team. I'm assuming is the Astros. I have no idea. Yes, I'm from Texas. I'm not from Houston. I've done a lot of business in Houston. I've driven down, I've flown down, but I couldn't tell you who owns that park. If it is indeed the Astros, I don't know. Instrument for which Beethoven and Mozart composed, and I do believe this would be the forte piano. I'll tell you, but the usage of the harpsichord by these two composers, and I'd love to own a harpsichord. I mean, like a real one, and a grand one. But I think tuning it would be, yeah. I can tune a piano. I have perfect pitch. Something I was born with. It's not like I can take credit for it. But yeah, I don't know. I think owning a harpsichord would be like owning a 12-string guitar if the 12-string guitar was actually 170, 80 some odd keys. I mean, that's a lot of strings. So I don't know that. One more than 5 down. How about Tetra? What might have green rooms? So I'm assuming we're talking about an eco resort. All right, so we got the Gregorian chant. Physics Nobelist Feynman would be Richard Feynman. And Lupton, author of the bestseller Cistern, I think that's Rosamund. Let's check here. Rim Cassis, Arabesque Table. And Nittany Lions, Pennsylvania State, so Penn State, okay. Aware of could be onto, and we in Portuguese would be nós. And that's rich. I think we said that a while ago. It'd be really funny if that is actually it. It sure seems like it is. Bygone devices whose tapes had to be rewound. Yes, remember that, Blockbuster? Please be kind. Rewind. I remember that. If you don't, you're young. I think we do. So, teatro alla scala solos needs to be arias. How do we do, Bob? Woo! Okay, we got lucky because every time I jump into these ginormous Sundays, I know I'm opening myself up for, like, bad. It's going to be bad because I'm going to get on a roll and I'm going to forget to check everything. And next thing you know, oh, gosh. And trying to find the mistake. Yeah, so ice climbing. Gonna have to watch that, know more about it. There were a couple of other areas where I really felt like I needed to get brought up to speed. So I'm gonna go through, wades, that's right, wades. What does that mean? I don't know. I haven't got a clue what we're talking about. If we're talking about, are you going through water? Is there another meaning for wades? I'd like to know. I know that metaphorically we can wade through all kinds of things, at work. I was wading through the hypocrisy. We can come up with any number of metaphors, for wading, but that was something that I was just not quite sure of there. I don't think I had any other big questions out of this one, other than the ESPYs. I guess I was not aware that it was an acronym. And maybe ESPN is an acronym. I don't know. I've never... It's been around since I was small, if not before I was born. I don't know when ESPN came around. I think it's a cable channel. I'm assuming I was like a child when it came out, but I have no idea. So that's going to be one of those things that I'm going to want to find out there. So I got to figure out about ice climbing, got to find out about wades, and of course ESPYs and ESPN in general. But on the whole, this was an absolutely fabulous Sunday showing here. Just gorgeous. So thank you so much, Rafael Musa. Bravo. Beautiful job. And we already know your crossword royalty as it is. But this right here takes the cake. And just look at the graphic and look at all of that white space, and you knocked this right out of this ballpark. So very well done. Let's go ahead and bring down our Bannière d'Adieu. And if you're here with me right now, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed, that would be cool too. Share this with your friends, the ones that are like you, not the ones that are baddies. No, send them to your friends, that your good friends, your fun friends, the people that are smart, clever, talent, cutesy on occasion maybe. That would be great. We want to build the audience with what we've got already, which is fantastic. So that said, until we see you tomorrow, auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, arrivederci, que tengas un lindo días, masalama. Be well out there. We will see you on the morrow. For the Monday grid, it's going to be wonderful. On Wednesday, I'm getting my Shotzi back all to myself. Can't wait for that. And in the meantime, just remember, we solve crosswords. We love cryptics and grids, and we just love all this stuff. We're cruciverbalists. This is what we do. Therefore, we love knowledge. We love history. We love science. We love everything. We love the arts, right? We love everything. We want to know more. We want to learn more. We're going to learn more from each other. So when we run into those people out there, just like my little German Oma, whose English probably wasn't the best in the world, and that thick German Yiddish accent she had, very hard to understand at times for some people. But remember, that woman had the heart of a lion, or as the French would say, un cœur de lion, because she went to a new place where she did not speak the lingua franca, and she made a life for herself. That's what we're looking at. You're looking at very brave people when you hear somebody with a foreign accent. Be well out there. We'll see you on the morrow. Cheers.